Hi everyone, the next chapter of our data governance workshop is on data quality. In this section of the workshop, we're going to talk about data quality. We'll talk about data quality rules. These are the things that you're going to design, you're going to agree upon in Axon. There are two different types. There's standard data quality rules, which are just kind of generalized expectations of the data, and then there's the implementation of those rules, which is going to happen in a particular place, in a data set, in a location. Those are going to be the local data quality rules. We'll talk through those. We'll talk about the data quality dashboards that we offer within Axon and the reason why we want to bring these DQ results into Axon, not just keep them in IDQ. And we'll talk about data quality automation and some of the cool things we can do if we've actually got Axon, EDC, and data quality in the mix together. So we're going to talk about data quality in the context of a specific concept. In this case, we're going to look at it in relation to the FS customer ID. This is a glossary concept, and so it can have standards related to it and also specific local rules which will relate to a certain instance of it. So if we take this example, we can see here one of the standards that we have is that the customer ID must be filled in. That's an expectation. Wherever the FS customer ID is located, we want it to be populated. And we can see, well, this standard rule is never going to have a data quality score related to it because it's just an expectation at the concept level. Wherever it's found, this is something that it should be. These rules down here, which we can see connect to this same reference, are the actual local rules. So, for instance, in the Oracle data warehouse, this is being executed and we're finding that it's only complete 85.2% of the time. However, when we are measuring it in this online banking system, we're finding we get 100% completeness. So these are two different results in relation to the same standard that are getting different results because they've been run in different systems on different data sets. So you might have some instances where you have just a local rule which is specific to a system. For instance, here we've got a timeliness rule. There might be a specific reason you have to enter this customer ID within a certain time period in order for it to be used or pulled for some kind of other purpose. That's not a standard across the board, so we don't have a standard rule, but we do have a particular local rule measuring timeliness in the context of that system. Now, what's really cool about this is that actually you can create new data quality rules and decide to apply them everywhere you've found the data. So in this example, this FS customer ID has been found a number of different times. This is the linked assets. We can see 4 different locations. We can also see that in this view here, the data attributes which have been defined here have been linked to specific EDC fields. So they've been located, we know where they physically are, and because of that, we can actually choose to create a new standard data quality rule. Okay, so let's do a validity check this time. We'll check that this ID is actually going to be an integer, it's going to be a number instead of a mix, an alphanumeric or a string or anything along those lines. This is a validity check. And if we actually paste this same description in the technical description field, we can use the natural language processing to come up with the rule. This is actually creating this for us, so there's no need for technical intervention. No one from data quality has to go and create this just because we've thought of it. This is happening automatically. We've got the mapping for the rule. We're going to say we want to create rules automatically, execute on an ad hoc basis, and save and close that view. Now, what we should see when we come back to the FS Customer ID Data Quality tab that we were just in is those rules have already been created. They're not populated yet, but they will be quite shortly. At the moment, they are 4 rules. So the complete rule, the validity rule was made as a standard rule here, and it's being applied 4 times. That's what that 4 means in all of the places where it managed to find customer ID using our enterprise data catalog. Now, what's cool is if we give it a minute and then we refresh, those are actually going to come in really quickly. It only takes a minute or 2 for those results to start coming in. So if we look now, I've just refreshed the screen and it's only literally been a couple of minutes, maybe a minute and a half, and I've managed to get scores back for all of these rules. So what's happened is we've decided what the rules should be in Axon, the natural place for that to happen, using natural language processing. EDC has said, well, we know we've got customer ID in these 4 places, and then the data quality rule has actually been applied in those places. So we have our rules against their thresholds, a couple of amber marks there that we might want to investigate, and that is data quality automation being shown at scale. Now, what's also really cool is we can see that in a dashboard view, so we can see here an aggregate of those data quality rules. That completeness one will have just come in, obviously, from those, that validity one will have just come in from those checks we did. That 93% is a aggregate of those 4 different scores. And because of the way Unison Search works, we can manipulate and decide to see whichever view we are interested in. So we can see an overview of all data quality, which is just what we would see if we didn't have any search on. But we can also see any one particular glossary concept. So we just had a look at FS customer ID, but why don't we have a look at FS customer name? And then we can see an aggregate of the data quality for that particular concept. Or we could come in from a system view and search on a particular system if we wanted to get an idea of an overview of a system and how its data quality was in general. We could do that this way as well. So all different ways, we can come in whatever way we like, create the search that we're interested in, and actually get that data quality view specific to what we want to know. We can also go a step further and actually have a look at data quality in the context of lineage. So if we're interested in a particular system, let's look at our core KYC system again. We can have a look at the map related to it, and we can actually put all of that data quality monitoring that we've done in the overlay as well. So there are all sorts of different ways that we can use Axon to really get an understanding of how the data quality is across our organization, how it is across lineage, how it is in different relation to different concepts or processes. All of these different things can be achieved with Axon, and we can actually automate the process of getting those quality scores measured as well. So just to sum up, for data quality, our biggest differentiator is the scalable automated data quality rule application. You define a standard once. That's your standard data quality rule. You then discover data with EDC. In this example, it's gone much further to show the scale that we can do this at. We're looking at 525 different records that have been discovered for phone number, and then executed that quality rule, mapped it against all of those different appliances of that concept, and we have got data quality scores across the board. Now, bringing NLP into this really puts it back in the hands of the business owners. You can have the requirement defined in plain text. There's no need for any technical know-how, which means that we can have the SMEs, the people who are working with the data, not necessarily the data quality stewards, not necessarily technical people, coming in, defining what they need, and then the NLP and the machine learning will understand and translate the requirement to generate the rule in data quality, and then that will map back, suggest the rule to the user, and link it to the glossary term. That's how that natural language processing piece works, which really makes that all the more accessible to our end users. All in all, data quality in Axon is a really powerful tool because it can be sliced and diced to whatever perspective is most relevant to you, whether that be an overview in a dashboard about a particular concept or system, whether it be data quality overlaid on a lineage map, or in the context of a process. We are actually giving the end users exactly what they need, whatever that may be, which is taking the data quality results and putting them into the context in which they're useful. Now, the addition of the natural language processing and the automation that we can do with Axon, EDC, and data quality just allows us to do it all faster, with less interference and less delay. All of this work can actually save us thousands of man hours because we're not creating these rules individually. We're not having to wait on technical people becoming available. We're just combining these 3 elements of our solution to automate data quality at scale. Thank you.